Hey, greetings! Welcome back to Sean's Irish Whiskey Shelf, coming at you from the heart of the United States, out here in the Midwest where the summer sun is just baking everything in sight right now. Pretty warm and sticky out here. So that means that it's probably a good time to spend a little bit of time indoors, enjoying your drop of Irish whiskey. And that's what we're going to do today. What I have are 3 bottles that have been on the shelf for quite some time. They were actually some of my original Irish whiskey bottles that I brought here to the Midwest from the East Coast. Now, Hellcat Maggie, actually this is a replacement bottle. I lost my bottle of Hellcat Maggie in the Great Irish Whiskey Disaster of 2021, but this is a common bottle that can be found around here. So this was easy to replace. The Dubliner and McCarthy's, both of these I purchased on the East Coast, brought them with me. It's been a really long time since I've had either of these two. I've had a little bit of Hellcat Maggie from time to time, but I've never seen these two again. So I've been very, very careful about how much I drink these because I don't want to lose them off the shelf, right? So tonight, we're going to enjoy these 3 together and do a quick taste test of the 3 of them. So, they're all entry-level whiskeys. You shouldn't have to pay more than $30 for any of these bottles. Let's start with McCarthy's. So, McCarthy's Irish Whiskey. This is an 80 proof, 40% alcohol blend Irish whiskey, excuse me. Getting my tongue straightened out there. And this is non-chill filtered and aged, it says, for a minimum of 3 years. And this is from McCarthy's Irish Whiskey up in Dublin. They say it is double casked, triple distilled. So we're going to take a look at this and see that it is actually, of the 3, it appears to be the darkest of the 3. Now let's give this McCarthy's Irish Whiskey blend a little bit of taste and see what we get. Okay. So, not a lot of alcohol burn, a little bit, not a lot. I think for my blue collar palate, I can taste a little bit of that oak in there. It definitely has a very noticeable taste that I would say, yeah, could be that kind of oaky taste. It's not bad. It's actually a nice change, perhaps from some of the other Irish whiskeys that you might find as an entry-level whiskey. It's not terrible. It's not terrible. I don't think it would replace Tullamore D.E.W, Bush White, or Roe & Co. But it's a pretty good whiskey. So I think it's absolutely doable. All right, on to the Dubliner. So this is the lightest color of the 3 of them. This is bourbon cask aged. And let's see, this is also 80 proof. So that's 40% alcohol, minimum of 3 years in oak casks. It does not say whether it's non-chill filtered or not. It doesn't say that, so I'm assuming that it's not. And this comes from the Dublin Liberties distillery. So, the Dubliner. We know it's the lightest of the 3. Let's see how it tastes. All right. A little bit smoother than McCarthy's. But I don't get that same sort of oaky kind of finish in the Dubliner like I get in McCarthy's. We're going to come back to those two. I want to try them again a little bit quicker between the two. I think this is tough. This is really tough because they both have some really good qualities to them. But I think McCarthy's has the more interesting kind of flavor profile, again, for this blue collar palate. But we haven't tried Hellcat Maggie yet. So let's go on over here to Hellcat Maggie. Now, this is also 40% alcohol, 80 proof. Hellcat Maggie was a crime figure, well-known criminal in Manhattan's 5 Points district, a member of the notorious Dead Rabbits gang. If any of you know about Irish whiskey, you know there's also a Dead Rabbit Irish whiskey. I had a bottle of that. I'm hoping to get a replacement because, yes, I lost that one in the Great Irish Whiskey Disaster. As I recall, it was a pretty fine drop of whiskey. So I'm hoping that I can get that one replaced sometime soon. She was a fierce street fighter, filed her teeth and nails into points to better shred her opponent's skin. The interesting thing about this, the whiskey, it's a blend, just like the other two. It is distilled in Ireland and then shipped over to the United States. Doesn't say who the distillery is, though, in Ireland. Let me see here, the World Spirits in Princeton, Minnesota, imports the whiskey and bottles it. So coming back to the video I did on Powers, this is kind of like, again, like they did in the old days, where a distillery would put the whiskey together and then ship it to someone else to be bottled. And that's what's happening here. Okay, World Spirits is bringing the whiskey in from Ireland and then bottling it under their name. So this is definitely a lower priced Irish whiskey. I think I've seen it for as low as $20, $21. So you're not going to drop a lot of coin on Hellcat Maggie. Let's see if the taste is reflective of that low price. All right. So, again, there's not a lot of burn in that. I would really not expect to have to put up with a lot of alcohol burn in something that's only 80 proof. You get surprised. Every once in a while you find something that does. Hellcat Maggie, it seems like she's got a little bit more of the single malt blend to it, perhaps. Yeah, I would definitely say that the flavor profile on Hellcat Maggie is more like what I would find in a single malt. Doesn't have any of the, the oaky taste or bourbony taste or anything like that, but it definitely has the malty taste. Is it bad? Is it something that I would know? It's a $21 or $22 bottle of whiskey. Well, it ain't no Tullamore D.E.W. Is it something I'm going to spit out, though, because it tastes like turpentine? No, not at all. In fact, that's, for being a low-priced Irish whiskey, that's really not too bad. If I was into having to save money and maybe cut back and not spend so much on my daily Irish whiskey habit of Tullamore D.E.W. I could probably drink this from time to time. I don't really like the single malt taste. I'm coming around to it, but it's not my favorite, and it's a little bit heavy in this, but it's not hateful. You know, I'm going to put this up against Jameson in a future video, but I dare say that this probably has, to me anyway, a little more body, a little more of a flavor profile than Jameson's does. There's a fly buzzing around in here too. He wants some Irish whiskey. So yeah, I'm really not sure what to think about this yet. Oh heck, let's just do it. You know, if we're going to talk about it, might as well just do it. Okay, we're all together, we're all friends. Let's pour a drop of Jameson here. Here we go. Turn that around. All right. All right, a little bit of Jameson. Yeah, see, I know that Jameson is the biggest selling Irish whiskey in the world. And any bar, any liquor store you go to is gonna have Jameson. Heck, I went to a Sam's Club here recently, and they had cases and cases and cases of Jameson. That was the only Irish whiskey they had for sale. No Bush, no Tullamore, just Jameson. So you're going to find Jameson everywhere. Does that mean it's the best? Heck to the no. All right. This guy right here is smoother than any of these three. That's why I said for someone who is a brand new novice Irish whiskey drinker, it's probably not a bad start to get someone into the flavor profiles of Irish whiskey. But once you get your training wheels off and you want to start trying other Irish whiskeys, I believe you're going to find that this just doesn't have the flavor profile and the oomph that some of the other Irish whiskeys have. And I can see it right now. Okay. Jameson, I think, is more expensive than Hellcat Maggie. But Hellcat Maggie, to me, to this blue collar palate, actually has more excitement to it, more of a flavor profile. Come on, we're going to do them pretty quick here. All right, Hellcat Maggie and Jameson. There's no competition. None whatsoever. No competition in the smoothness, Jameson. No competition in the flavor profile, the awakening of your taste buds, Hellcat Maggie. Or either of these two. So, again, that's just my opinion. Everyone's going to have their own opinion when it comes to their palate and what they like. But I'm here to tell you, you know, I would actually take a little Hellcat Maggie before I took a little Jameson. Now, that said, if you're making mixes, let's say you're making an Irish mule, all right? Jameson is great for mixes because you're going to get that little bit of Irish whiskey pop. It's going to give your drink that little bit of alcohol, and you're going to water it down with ginger ale or whatever else you're going to put in there. And if you're out drinking at the bar with your friends, by the time you've had 3, 4, or 5 shots of Irish whiskey, you're probably not going to be able to tell whether you're drinking Redbreast 21 or Jameson. So Jameson has its place. But if I'm sitting out in Papa's Lounge and I'm having my evening cigar and drinking a glass of whiskey that I've put a big old ice ball in because it's 590 degrees outside, I'm not picking this up. I would pick either of these three up well before I pick this up. Let's go back to McCarthy's and the Dubliner real quick, because I thought these two were fairly close. They don't have that single malt taste, but they definitely have more of a like an oaky kind of taste, especially McCarthy's. All right, let's knock these two out right quick. McCarthy's, yeah, I can really taste that oaky taste. I feel like I have just taken that right out of a cask. All right, Dubliner. I think of the two, I would probably prefer the Dubliner. The flavors are a little bit more muted, so there's nothing that's like right in your face and saying, I'm right there, like the oak is in here. And I'm not saying that's bad though, okay? What I'm saying is, for me and me alone, if I have to pick one of these two, which one am I going to drink? I'm going to take the Dubliner, because they're both really well done Irish whiskeys. I just prefer the profile of the Dubliner a little bit better. I like the fact that this tastes like it came right out of the cask. But I think for me, I kind of like the Dubliner a little bit better. And maybe you will too. You know? Again, your palates are going to be different. Your mileage is going to vary. And I would love to hear if any of you try these. I know, for goodness sakes, I know probably all of you watching have tried Jameson. But what about these three? What about Hellcat Maggie? I mean, like I said, it's in a lot of places out here in my state. What about yours? Have you decided to, take a leap of faith and try some Hellcat Maggie? Let me know. Leave me some comments in the YouTube channel or on Facebook at Sean's Irish Whiskey Shelf. And don't forget, if you like what you see, please take a second and click the thumbs up button. It takes you less time to do it than it takes for me to ask you to do it, and it keeps the YouTube algorithms happy. If you haven't already subscribed, I really wish you'd consider. That way you don't miss any of my videos. Try to do one a week at least, sometimes two if I really get excited about something. Don't forget to check out the Facebook page of Irish Whiskey Fans of America. Great group of guys and gals. You can learn an awful lot on that Facebook page. Probably learn more on there than you can from anywhere else, to be honest. Just some fascinating folks in there with a lot of knowledge. And that's really all I have for you this evening. So until we meet again, enjoy your Irish whiskey, because any reason to have a drop of Irish whiskey is a great reason. But remember, do it responsibly, because I want you here next week. What are we going to do next week? Not 100% sure, as always. I'm thinking maybe we might pull those two Napoleon castles off the wall. There's a 12 and a 16. Haven't put them head to head yet to see how they stack up with each other. So that might be the next video we do. And until we do that video, be well and be safe. All right? Sláinte. Bye now.